Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to see Class 12 Biology Chapter 2 Human Reproduction. In this we are going to see Fertilisation and Implantation. Let's start with the topic children, Insemination and Fertilization. Insemination is the release of semen into the vagina during sexual intercourse. Millions of sperms are deposited, but only a few thousand reach the fallopian tube. So the motile sperm, it travels through the cervix and uterus to the ampulla of the fallopian tube, where the secondary oocyte is present after ovulation process. What is fertilization? Fertilization is the fusion of a sperm and an ovum to form a diploid zygote. So the sperm first binds to the zona pellucida. Can you be able to see this here in the diagram? I'll show you. So this is the zona pellucida. So what happens here? The sperm first binds to the zona pellucida, the protective covering of the ovum. So this triggers the cortical reaction which prevents the entry of any additional sperms, ensuring monospermy. Monospermy is nothing but entry of only one sperm. Yes. So the acrosome of the sperm. So this is the acrosome of the sperm. So the acrosome of the sperm releases enzymes that help it to penetrate the egg. So after the sperm enters, the secondary oocyte completes meiosis 2. The secondary oocyte completes meiosis 2. Then what happens? It produces the mature ovum and a second polar body. So finally the male and the female pronuclei, they fuse to form a diploid zygote, that is 2n equal to 46 chromosomes. So what you should learn from this exam point of view is fertilization occurs in the ampullary isthmic junction, that is nothing but the ampulla of the fallopian tube, and formation of the zygote marks the beginning of a new individual. Next we are going to see sex determination. Sex chromosomes in humans. So humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes. So female have XX and male have XY. So every ovum carries only X chromosomes. What it carries? X chromosome. Whereas the sperms are of two types. One is the X bearing and another one is the Y bearing. So if an X bearing sperm fertilizes the ovum, if a X-bearing sperm fertilizes the ovum, what will happen? The zygote becomes a XX, that is a female child will be born. If a Y-bearing sperm fertilizes the ovum, the zygote becomes XY, male child will be born. Yeah. So thus the father only determines the sex of the baby because only the father produces two types of sperms, right? So what you have to learn in the exam point of view is mother never determines the baby's sex. The father's sperms decides the sex of the child. Next we are going to see cleavage and the early embryo. Cleavage. So after fertilization, the zygote begins a repeated mitotic division. What happens? The zygote begins a repeated mitotic divisions while moving through the fallopian tube towards the uterus. So it is undergoing repeated mitotic division. So from here the fallopian tube, it is going to the uterus. So these divisions we call as the cleavage. So an important feature of the cleavage is that only the number of the cells increases, but the overall size of the embryo, it always remains almost the same, children. So the daughter cells formed are called as blastomeres. The daughter cells formed are called as blastomeres. So next what happens? So when the embryo it reaches 8 to 16 cell stage, it is called the morula. Yeah. So when it reaches the 8 to 16 cell stage, it is called the morula. So the morula continues dividing while entering the uterus. It keeps on dividing. Yes, here morula stage, it keeps on dividing, and then further cell division transforms the morula into a blastocyst. So further cell division, the morula is transformed into blastocyst. So blastocyst, it consists of outer tropoblast, which helps in the implantation, and later contributes to the placenta. And the inner cell mass, yes, the inner cell mass, it develops into the embryo. The inner cell mass, it develops into the embryo. So you should learn from this the sequence of development. First, the zygote is formed. It is undergoing the cleavage, and then blastomere is formed. Then morula is formed. At last, blastocyst. Yes. So here it is given, children. Go through this. Next, we are going to see the implantation. After reaching the uterus, the blastocyst loses its outer covering. What happens after reaching the uterus? The blastocyst loses its outer covering and it comes in contact with the thickened endometrium that is present in the uterus. Yes, thickened endometrium. So what happens here? The trophoblast attaches firmly to the uterine wall. The trophoblast, it attaches firmly to the uterine wall. The uterine tissues grows around the blastocyst. So it embedding it inside the endometrium. So this process we call as the implantation. So generally this implantation occurs 6 to 7 days after the fertilization. So once implantation is complete, pregnancy begins. So the inner cell mass here, the inner cell mass, it develops into the embryo while the trophoblast helps in the formation of the placenta, which provides nourishment and oxygen to the developing fetus. So exam point of view, what you should learn is implantation occurs in the endometrium of the uterus. Implantation occurs in the endometrium of the uterus. Trophoblast forms the placenta and inner cell mass develops into the embryo. Let's have a quick revision, children. So whatever we saw in this part. So some important definitions like insemination is a release of semen into the vagina during coitus. Fertilization is fusion of sperm and ovum to form a diploid zygote. Zona pellucida is a protective layer around the ovum that prevents the entry of multiple sperms after fertilization. Zygote, first a diploid cell formed after fertilization. Sex determination is nothing but that it is determined by father's X or Y bearing sperm. Cleavage is the repeated mitotic divisions of the zygote without increasing its size. Blastomeres, they are cells produced during the cleavage. Morula is a compact embryo consisting of 8 to 16 blastomeres. Blastocyst, embryo with an outer trophoblast and an inner cell mass. Implantation is embedding of the blastocyst into the uterine endometrium is marking the pregnancy, beginning of the pregnancy. So you should learn one flow chart for this. From the coitus, next is insemination, next fertilization happens in the ampulla, then zygote is formed, then cleavage occurs, blastomere is formed, morula is formed, blastocyst, next implantation, at last pregnancy. So we have come to the conclusion part, children. Watch the full video. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.